First, let's go into the accessories of the Husqvarna Viking Husky Lock S25. So a lot of things come with it. We're just kind of pulling it all together here. And I also want to go over the warranty as well. So in the accessory box, and then in a couple other bags, we've opened up some things. So these are your cone holders. So for the cones, you want to slide those up. And if you have some cones that kind of wiggle when they stand, slide it up a little higher. Of course, once you slide it in there, sometimes they get stuck and you have to go looking for them. So if you're missing any, check the bottoms of your spools. They'll be up in the top areas there. So this is actually the cover stitch table. We'll switch that over to cover stitch later, where we actually take off this front cover and put like a little table involved. Knife goes away and makes for kind of like a sewing surface for when we do cover stitch. So along these lines, we also have five discs. So if you're using a smaller spool, just like a regular sewing cone of thread or spool of thread, these go on top. It helps so the spool doesn't get lifted up, helps the thread come off the spool, because a lot of those have those little tops on there or caps, and this gets them nicely secure and fed well. Also, your needles, these are special serger needles. They are the ELX 705, so you do want to make sure you pick up the right needles. These are not the same needles as your sewing machine. For our store, we keep our serger needles actually in our service department so people don't accidentally pick these up for their sewing machine, and we just have them note that these are separate. So we have 80s and 90s. You don't want to go any bigger than a 90 or any smaller than a 70, but you have a nice little pack to kind of get you started here. A large screwdriver to get in and take off any of the larger screws, but you also have a Torx screwdriver. That's the one you always want to keep handy. That's the one that takes your needles in and out. So that's the one you're probably going to use the most. You also have some thread nets. There's actually 5 of these in here. If you ever have any cones that are, when they just sit on the cone, they kind of fall off or kind of don't stay tight on the cone, you can slide these over the top of the cone and it keeps the thread from getting tangled at the bottom. So you slide that on. They're brand new here. Let's slide one on so you can see what it looks like. And then the thread just comes out the top. But they're very, very gentle as needed. If you ever need to, sometimes I have been known to even cut these in half for different sizes. I rarely need to use all 5 of them at the same time, but as you can see, the thread just comes off the top there. All right, you have a cleaning brush. Yes, cleaning is going to be a crucial part of your serging. And then tweezers. These are the one thing. There's 3 things I kind of keep close to me all the time. My pair of tweezers, my screwdriver that takes the needles in and out, and my needle threader, which is awesome. It pushes the thread through the needle. And then on the other end is actually a little holder. I can put the needle in and put it up. And also when I'm taking the needle out, I can slide that up the needle, loosen it, and the needle drops into here and not into the bottom of the serger. So those are the items I keep close by. You'll also have an extra blade. Now you're not going to need to change these a lot, but it is nice to have these at your fingertips. If you serge on a lot of man-made fibers like polyesters or fleeces, you're going to notice that this knife is going to dull faster than if you were just sewing on cotton fabrics or natural fibers. But you can go in, unscrew it, put the new one back on, and be back on track. I would say if you serge a lot, you might need to change that in a year. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, do I need new ones? It's really okay. This is nice to have. I'm glad they put an extra one in. And then oil. We'll show you where you need to clean and oil this machine in a separate video. So what about the warranty on this machine? You can go online and register your machine at husqvarnaviking.com. Put in the serial number. You're all good. You've got a 5-year limited warranty for all manufacturer problems if there's any defects on the workmanship or materials, as they say. In the first year, they will cover labor and parts, and then in years, you might say 2 through 5, then they'll cover just the parts, but you still will have to pay for the labor. So from your store you probably purchased it from, they will have and take care of you for any warranty items that you might run into. So those are the basic items, and we'll attach a few other things once we get the machine set up. And of course, your manual is going to be a very handy accessory as well. Everything you need is right in here, or it's on screen. So it's very easy to learn this machine and not have to refer to this as has often because of the built-in computer that will help you along the way. All right, let's get threaded.